Episode number 6, All in Society and Friends. What's up, everybody? Kings and queens, how's everybody doing? First marvelous week of October. I don't know about you, but here in Maryland, Southern Maryland, the weather's been beautiful. Yesterday was nice. Today, I think it was 81 degrees. This past weekend, I turned the air off and everything. I was chilling. It was nice and breezy at night. It's perfect temperature. And now this week, it's like, man, like it's summer all over again. At least there's not a lot of humidity though. But it's perfect weather. I have a mascot this year, or excuse me, well, I should say this year. This is the first time I've been proud to be a Lions fan. But I got a mascot for this episode. And we're going to start this episode off by me getting into story time. I'm going to tell you about an event that took place, I think it was earlier this week, like a Thursday, at Maryland Live Casino. So I'm at the end of my session. I'm picking up my chips. I made money this session, nothing crazy. I think I made a buy-in, playing 1-3. New player comes over to my table. Forgot to tell you, I have my Detroit Lions hat on. I don't have a sweatshirt or anything else on. Just Detroit Lions hat on. But it's fresh. It's pops. It's blue. As soon as you see it, you know what it is. It's that Honolulu blue. I think it's the Detroit Lions colors. And a guy walks over to the table and he says, and he doesn't say anything necessarily directed towards me, but kind of says an open statement, bandwagon Lions fans. So I know what he's talking about. He sees my hat and has something to say about it. Now, a couple of the things could have triggered him to do this. More than likely, he put his last $5 to his name on the game this past week, and he lost, thinking the Packers were going to pull it off. And so he pissed and he wants to say something. Or he's the type of guy, especially in this area, they like to run their mouth. Um, Trust me, I've seen it all, and I've experienced myself. I have plenty of stories to tell you guys. But like to sit down to the table, run their mouth, and try to kind of bully the table rather than just sit down, play your cards, and let your game do the talking, let your cards do the talking, let the chips do the talking. They try to like intimidate you. But anyway, so a guy comes over to the table, makes the comment, and I said, well, I'm assuming you're talking about me. And I said, well, I'm born and raised in Michigan. And then I said, why would anybody want to be a Detroit Lions bandwagon fan? It is literally week 4 of the NFL. They've won 3 games. They've won and done nothing. Why would anybody, how is there a bandwagon? If anything, everyone is rallying behind the culture, kind of like the underdogs, right? And the coach, everyone likes the coach. The team, they're on Hard Knocks, so we've got a lot of just positive vibes and we have momentum and we got a great team that we built, right? So that's the reason why somebody, I guess, would want to be a bandwagon fan for the Detroit Lions. But other than that, Detroit Lions have been miserable my entire life. So why would you want to be a bandwagon fan? But anyways, I'm still proud. This is the first time I've ever been proud to be a Detroit Lions fan. So I thought that was a funny story to tell. So you can't possibly be that stupid. Nobody wants to be a Detroit Lions fan. No one is going out and buying Detroit Lions gear, apparel, because they won a couple of games. Now, if you're a believer like I am, you went out and you bought that hat because I do believe they're going to 100% make the playoffs. Hopefully, it's knock on wood, as long as everybody stays healthy. But moving right along, and I want to stay on the kind of the sports conversation and betting on sports. So myself, I've been betting on sports probably more so than usual as far as the amount. Now that's multiple reasons why I've been doing that. But I wanted to make sure that we're doing this responsibly. Now I'm not sure if a lot of you guys are just watching the game, putting $5 on it or something like that. But I know there's a lot of people that are betting on the games every week. I'm really sticking to betting on Detroit Lions and kind of betting on San Francisco, the top five teams that I'm going to get to at the end of this episode. San Francisco, it was the Cowboys at one point, but they're kind of shaky. Um, the Eagles, I don't like Kansas City. Detroit Lions, I love betting my home team. I watch them. And so I want to keep it real small and not really chase different bets every single week. But all this being said, I want to make sure we're doing this responsibly. If you're going to bet, if you bet anything more than $20, I suggest you guys start writing this down. Get yourself like a journal, a log, or just put it in your phone in notes if you have an iPhone or whatever kind of phone you have. I'm sure there's a section that has notes in there. But write down everything that you bet. Now, if you bet, like I said, if you're doing a little $5 fantasy football team, go ahead and just like do that and just have a good time watching the game. But if you're betting anything over $20, make sure you log in this and just make sure you're keeping track of this. I don't want anybody get in trouble, and I don't want things get out of hand, because I know in my emails they are flooding me with promotions, and then you see it on TV, probably billboards wherever you go. It's almost like impossible to run away from this. You got Taylor Swift on television promoting football, trying to get, seems like, new fans in, people that are Taylor Swift fans, not necessarily into football. I don't know if you guys saw this, the Toy Story um, thing with the I think it was the Jaguars game, and you could watch the game as they were like Toy Story figurines in Andy's like playhouse or something like that. So just be mindful of these things. They're coming after the kids, they're coming after the children, and they're coming after our money too. So just be mindful of this. I don't want anybody to get in trouble. Now, getting in trouble, and that kind of alludes and is a great segue to the next topic, and that is Dumb Money, the movie Dumb Money, and also saw the movie The Creator past couple days. So first, I want to dive into Dumb Money. I really enjoyed this movie. When it was really going on, I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't really diving deep into the stock market at that time. So I know a lot of it was going on, and I was watching this from a distance, and was like, why are these people invested in GameStop, putting that much money into it? It is a, it's a dying business. It didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I now understand when it was kind of less than $10. I can understand if it was truly a value stock, if you believe that the company could turn things around. But it seemed like the company wasn't really managed well from the beginning. And now maybe things are turning around now. I haven't really looked into the company. It's not really a company I follow. Uh, with that being said, the movie itself was, I really enjoyed it. It was entertaining. It was funny. It kind of poked at your emotions a little bit as well. Their sister passed away, I believe, due to COVID. And so we really started to feel for the character and really root for them to beat the hedge fund, right? And also because you wanted them to succeed as individuals themselves. All the characters that were portrayed in this movie, and I'm not sure if this movie was based truly on the people that the movie was. I don't know if those fictional characters or they were really real accounts of folks that were holders. Now I know the guy. I don't know his name, and I'm not going to call him Kitty. A lot of that wasn't just like 100% factual. A lot of it was just based on his story. But I would like to know: would you guys take the profits, or would you have stuck it through and held through with Kitty? I know there would have been a point that I 100%, if it could change my life and make my life better, make my family lives better, I 100% would have took the profits over the principle of beating the hedge funds and everything. Oh, I'm looking at myself. Sorry, they probably didn't mention this. So I cut everything off because I'm getting ready to grow a beard. So blank canvas, and I'm tired of shaving every day, right? So I grow a beard, especially for the fall and the cold winter. But I definitely would have took some profits and took care of my family. Probably took a nice vacation and enjoyed myself. If I would have wrote it up from like $10 up to wherever it was, at his peak during the pandemania, for lack of a better word. Um, Sorry about the little arm wave. I'm not sure exactly where that came from. But it was a good movie. I would actually go see it again. Maybe there was some things that I missed, but I think it was really well done, well written. The actors all did a really good job. It wasn't anything like too elaborate. It wasn't like a big heavy drama, but I think they did a really great job telling that story. I really enjoyed it, so definitely go see it. Whether you're interested in the stock market or not, this might get you interested in the stock market. And I definitely learned some things. Like I didn't know that the hedge fund folks they called us dumb money, the retail investors. But I mentioned this watching Wall Street Trapper. You guys should check in with him. He has this show going on right now on YouTube as well on Tuesdays. So make sure you check in with him. But he was talking about the lions are like the apex predators, right? But it also is the wild dogs or hogs. They hunt in packs, and you hunt packs, and just the way that they hunt, everybody eats, and they eat equally, not just like the lion, the king get the king share, and everyone else gets kind of whatever the leftovers are. So if the gang of us would, and I've mentioned this before, if we would all gang together, maybe gang together is not the proper way to say it, but all come together collectively and put our money into some type of investment in as a society, as a community, and push things forward positively for our community. Specifically, if things aren't getting done by the government or whoever we're expecting to kind of save us, if we put our money together, even though it's small, but right here you see the movie. If we all come together, we can accomplish and we can do some amazing things. Now, unfortunately, the powers to be have too much power, have too much money, and at some point they will crush the little man. But it was fun watching. Moving along to The Creator, I enjoyed this movie as well. I thought the CGI and everything was great. The acting by the little girl, and I'm not sure what the actor's name is. It's terrible. I can't remember off the top of my head, but everyone did a good job. Um, just the story itself, I enjoyed it. To be quite honest with you, as far as building up the characters and really get an emotional connection with them, I almost had better connection or really bought into the story and the characters in Dumb Money more so I did The Creator. I think Creator, if it had another hour, it would be a long movie, but it would maybe some additional scenes and a little bit more would have had a more powerful and lasting impact. But it was overall a good movie. Wouldn't say I would see it again. If I didn't see it, I wouldn't be upset, I guess, but that's because I saw it. But it was interesting to kind of see AI interact emotionally and kind of see what possibly could be if we don't get things in check. But they did mention in the movie, and this is a spoiler. If you haven't seen the movie, you interested to see in the movie, maybe tune this part out, maybe a couple seconds. But they did mention that there was a nuclear weapon that went off in LA, and it wasn't the AI that did it. It was a error by us, by humans in the code. So it wasn't AI's doing; it was actually our doing. And so, but they blamed it on AI, and so I know there's a lot of fear of AI taking jobs, but obviously it's going to make things easier, more efficient. Just hopefully there's some checks and balances, and we're really doing things and doing things proper way, and make sure we don't get things out of hand. Now, using AI to power what I think Tesla is going to do and kind of push transportation forward, and we'll be able to go to and from more efficiently and hopefully more better for the economy, or excuse me, well, for the economy as well, and for the environment as well. I know Eli is working on some major things, so maybe AI could push that forward. We can get that sooner than later. I don't have a lot of information on this, but also Zuckerberg and his wife were talking about curing all disease um, by, well, I think they said 2050. So that's amazing, and AI can help accomplish that. Maybe accomplish that sooner than what they are expecting. So that would be absolutely amazing, right? So there's a lot of positives, but I think there's also a lot of negatives, and we've seen it in these Terminator movies. Now, I don't want to dive too deep into this, but these kind of things that I think are thinking about. Why? How does this movie come out? It just seems so coincidental. This movie comes out in the same year where the stock market was really driven by technology companies, tech companies, by the word AI. Me personally, when I knew things were big, is because I was listening to Earn Your Leisure, and I think they went to Davos conference or something like that. It's just like the elite go to this conference, and a lot of the conversation was about AI, and they reported on that, and then CNBC, maybe even CNN started reporting on it, and the stock market took off. And so AI has been like every day listen to CNBC and on the news and everything you hear AI, 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 and then this movie comes out, and it just seems like we are just getting set up for something. They're just kind of desensitizing us to something. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to go too far deep down the rabbit hole. Maybe stuff like this will be something that gets picked up on YouTube. But I don't want to get too deep into the rabbit hole. I'm not the type of person that goes into this conspiracy theory stuff, but it's just something that just comes to mind. Maybe I should not partake in some things before I go see these movies and get my mind running wild every once in a while. All right, so let's dive into it now. NFL stats. And I alluded to it, I think, last episode or on my podcast as well. And make sure you check out my podcast, All In Society. It's on all your major podcast networks. Um, just type in All in Society, type in Claude Winston or type in Claude Purchase, and you'll be able to find it as well. Follow, download all the episodes for me. I appreciate the support. Thank you very much. You can also check out my website, www.allinsociety.com, ALLNSOCIETY.com. If you're watching this on Facebook, thank you. I appreciate it. We're probably friends. We've probably been friends for a while, or maybe we're just acquaintances from the poker community. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, and if you guys are watching on Facebook, make sure you transfer over to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube page. All in Society, please do. And I will post, and I already have it in the, I believe, the episode description already for you guys to find the link and to go to YouTube and find All in Society to follow there. But we're going to go down each game, and we're going to do this rapid fire. I'm going to try to speak as fast as possible. I know there's other ways for you to consume this information, but the reason why I do this is because when I look at the stats, I'm a numbers guy. I never used to, but I like to look at numbers. I like to look at stats. And by looking at this and looking at this and jotting it down every week, I do this kind of manually myself. I'm sure I could probably buy one of the new versions of ChatGPT and say, hey, do this for me. But I like to take 30, 40 minutes and kind of jot this down and just look and see how all the players are performing. And at the end of this, I'm going to give you my top 10 for through week 5. Kind of like Stephen A does this, I'm going to give you mine as well. All right, guys, here we go. Rapid fire. Packers 20 at Lions, who scored 34 points. The passing, Lions Goff, 19 for 38, 210 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Packers Love, he was 23 for 36, 246 yards, 1 touchdown and 2 picks. So as far as yardage, Packers were definitely throwing that ball because they couldn't keep up because we were running the ball down their throats. Woo! Detroit Lions. I wish I had a nice grizzly roar or a bear's roar or growl, whatever you want to call it. I got to get, I'm going to start using this pad over here and start doing some sound for you guys and get some added production in here, as well as we'll have scheduling out some viewership, excuse me, some more interviews for you guys. Excuse me, lost my train of thought. Some more interviews for you guys as well. So stay tuned as well. Well, back to football. Yeah. So Love may have had more passing yards. Um, he had the same amount of touchdowns as Goff, but he also had more turnovers than Goff. So 2 interceptions. Lions Montgomery, he rushed 32 times after coming back from injury. He had 121 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns. That's right, 3 touchdowns. He ran it down the throats. I told y'all. Receiving for Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He had 5 receptions for 69 yards and 1 touchdown. And Packers Dobbs, he had 9 receptions for 95 yards. Jaguars beat the Falcons. Jaguars at home, 23-7. Atlanta's quarterback, Ritter, he was 19 for 31, 191 yards. He had 1 touchdown and 2 picks. Trevor Lawrence, and this game was international. This was an international game in the morning overseas. Trevor Lawrence was 23 for 30. He had 207 yards, 1 touchdown. Robinson for Atlanta, this rookie is looking good. 14 carries, 105 yards. And receiving for Atlanta, Smith, 6 receptions, 95 yards. This is maybe the game of the week. The Bills smashed the Dolphins. I lost some money on this game. I had Miami +3. I thought the Miami could win this game. I thought they were going to run the ball effectively and keep the ball out of Allen's hands. They ran the ball, but their defense is trash. I think it was number 4 on defense. I don't like to go too hard on people, but he don't need to be playing. I understand he was playing against Diggs. He is not an easy opponent to guard, but number 4, he looked like he was just playing chase with whoever he was lining up against. Multiple times he was running, not even the ball's coming, you're not even turning around, he's just running like this, and the ball could hit him in the back of the head, he wouldn't even know. But he's doing this, hitting, touching receiver, not even trying to look back and to defend the pass. So number 4, I don't even know what your name is. I don't even give you enough praise to even mention your number. But he was terrible on defense for Miami, defensive back. But Miami, Tua, 25 for 35, 282 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Buffalo, Allen, he was 21 for 25. 320 yards and 4 touchdowns. Absolutely killed Miami's defense. Miami's rushing, A-Chain, I told you, Miami run the ball down the throat. 8 carries. He only took 8 carries for 101 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. I'm assuming I didn't get a chance to watch this game as a whole. I was watching in a red zone. So I'm assuming some of these carries were when they were just chucking the ball downfield, playing catch up, and maybe the defense, they had maybe like just 3 up front on the line, and they would just A-Chain was be able to just run it down their throats. I don't know, but that's the only thing I could think. Why they weren't be able to why they didn't run the ball more than 8 times with him when he had this amount of yardage. And then Diggs receiving for Buffalo, he had 6 receptions, 120 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Absolutely torched number 4. I think a couple of times. I think number 4 was moving around with a couple of receivers. I guess they were like, Diggs, you got enough. Let's put somebody else over there. You torch them too. It was embarrassing, man. If they want to be serious, or if they're gonna be able to beat a team like the Bills who can put up points, they're gonna have to shore up their defense. Otherwise, Miami is just they're just one-sided. I'm not gonna take them seriously. But we'll see where I put them on my top 5, if they're in my top 5. Broncos, Bears. Broncos came into Chicago, and beat the Bears. For passing, Denver, Wilson, 21 for 28, 223 yards, 3 touchdowns. Chicago, Fields, 28 for 35, 335 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. Herbert, Chicago rushing, 18 carries for 103 yards. Receiving, Chicago Moore, 8 receptions, 131 yards and 1 touchdown. And Kmet for Chicago, 7 receptions, 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ravens smashed on the Browns. I think Browns were a little shorthanded this week due to injuries. But with that being said, Jackson passing, 15 for 19, 186 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rushing, Jackson, 9 carries, 27 yards and 2 touchdowns as well. So he had a very productive game. They could not stop Lamar. And receiving, Baltimore Andrews, 5 receptions, 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. That tight end is lethal. Titans smashed on the Bengals, 27-3. Tannehill, Tennessee passing, 18 for 25, 240 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. King Henry, Tennessee running back, rushing, 22 carries, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. And receiving for Tennessee, it's Westbrook Icon, I believe, is how you pronounce his name. I'm probably butchered it. 5 receptions, 51 yards, and 1 touchdown. The Rams on the road against the Colts, they won 29-23. Stafford passing for LA, 27 for 40, 319 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Richardson, Indy passing quarterback, 11 for 25, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rushing, LA Williams, 25 carries, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns. Nice game. And receiving, LA Nakua. He had 9 receptions, 163 yards, and 1 touchdown. That rookie is doing wonderful things. Bucks beat on the Saints. Bucks were on the road, 26-9. Passing, Mayfield, Tampa Bay, 25 for 32, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. And receiving for Tampa Bay, Godwin, 8 receptions, 114 yards. Nice job, Godwin. Commanders, Eagles, great game. Went to overtime, but Eagles won at home, 34-31. Passing, Howell Washington, 29 for 41, 290 yards, 1 touchdown. Philly Hurts, 25 for 37, 319 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rushing, DeAndre Swift, Philly, 14 carries, 56 yards, and 1 touchdown. So they did not run the ball as effectively as he has in games past. Obviously, this is a divisional opponent, so this is a tight game. Receiving for Philly, Brown had a wonderful game. 9 receptions, 175 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Vikings beat the Panthers. Vikings on the road, 21-13. Passing, Cousins, Minnesota, 12 for 19, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 2 picks. Carolina Young, rookie, 25 for 32, 204 yards. Rushing, Minnesota, Madison, 17 carries, 95 yards. Receiving, Minnesota, Jefferson, 6 receptions, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jefferson, he is a wonderful receiver. Best in the league, probably. Texans smashed on the Steelers. Stroud, this rookie's, he's a heck of a player. Houston Stroud, 16 for 30, 306 yards, 2 touchdowns. And receiving, Houston Collins, 7 receptions, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chargers at home, 24-17, beat the Raiders. Herbert, LA, 13 for 24, 167 yards, 1 touchdown, also 1 pick. Rushing, Las Vegas, Jacobs, 17 carries, 58 yards, and a touchdown. LA Herbert got wheels this game, 12 carries, 27 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Receiving, Allen, LA, 3 receptions, 32 yards, and a touchdown. Cowboys smashed the Patriots at home, 38-3. Dak Prescott, Dallas passing, 38 for 34, 261 yards, and a touchdown. And receiving, Dallas, Lamb, 4 receptions, 36 yards, and a touchdown. 49ers made some money on this game. 35 at home against the Cardinals, who had 16. Passing, Dobbs, 28 for 41, 265 yards, 2 touchdowns. San Francisco, Purdy, he was 20 for 21, 283 yards, and 1 touchdown. Probably MVP so far, San Francisco, McCaffrey, 20 carries, 106 yards, 3 touchdowns. And receiving, we had a lot of receiving yards production this game. Arizona, Brown, 7 receptions, 96 yards. Arizona, Wilson, 7 receptions, 76 yards, 2 touchdowns. San Francisco, Ayuk, 7 6 receptions, 148 yards. And San Francisco, McCaffrey, he also has 7 receptions, 71 yards, and a touchdown. What a heck of a game. McCaffrey is, woo, he is definitely the MVP right now. The Chiefs on the road, 23-20. They beat the Jets. Mahomes, Kansas City passing, 18 for 30, 203 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. I am not impressed with Kansas City so far. New York, Wilson, 28 for 39, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rushing, Kansas City, Pacheco, 20 carries, 115 yards, and 1 touchdown. That's a nice game right there. And receiving, New York, Lazard, 3 receptions, 61 yards, 1 touchdown. And Kelsey, those of you who want to know what Kelsey did, 6 receptions for 60 yards. Last but not least, Seahawks. I think they're a great team. 24 on the road against the Giants. They beat the Giants Monday night. Passing, Smith, he came out of the game but came back in. 13 for 20, 110 yards and a touchdown. And New York Jones, 27 for 34, 203 yards and 2 interceptions. Rushing, Seattle, Walker III, 17 carries, 79 yards and a touchdown. And Seattle, Metcalf, 3 receptions, 34 yards and a touchdown. Now, my favorite part, NFL top 5. So last week through week 3, I had number 1, 49ers, 2, Dolphins, 3, Eagles, 4, Chiefs, and 5, Lions. Now, this week, 1 is the same. We have the 49ers, but we have quite a mix-up for the rest of the list. So number 2, I have the Eagles, the only other undefeated team other than the 49ers. They're not playing their best football, but they're playing winning football, beating the division opponent in overtime. So they're number 2. Number 3, I have the Bills beating the Dolphins, high-flying offense, but the Bills show they can score points and they have a heck of a defense. So they're the number 3 team for me. Number 4, this is going to shock some people. I'm moving Detroit Lions up from 5 to 4. I think they showed us they are the real deal. They can score points consistently. In their defense, they are stopping the run. Their Achilles heel is being able to stop the passing game. So we'll see going forward. But I believe if they can stop the run and they can run the ball down their opponent's throats and they can throw the ball and Goff does better in protecting and not giving the ball away, then we got something. Jahmyr Gibbs, he's just getting his feet underneath him. I'm going to probably put something very big against Carolina on anytime touchdown for Gibbs this week. And David Montgomery, he is having a hell of a season, a heck of a season. So the running game is looking good. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Raymond, their wide receivers are looking good. They got a wide receiver, their rookie coming in, I think, week 6 or week 7 maybe. So I really like the Lions. They just need to shore up their defense on the passing side. So I have the Lions at number 4, and I dropped the Dolphins down to number 5. Dolphins, I still believe in their offense, but if their defense, they're going to be able to beat a lot of teams with their offense alone. But that defense is atrocious, and it's going to keep a lot of teams in games that they shouldn't be in games. But if they'll be able to run up points and have opponents doing some things they're not accustomed to, maybe their defense can be able to get some turnovers and really do some things. So I bumped the Chiefs off because I'm not impressed with they're winning games, yes, but I'm just not impressed with them. Lions beat the Chiefs. This is not last year's I won a Super Bowl. This is what's happened. What have you done for me this season? So I have the Lions number 4, bumping down the Dolphins from number 2 to number 5. So rounding out my top 5 again, number 1, 49ers, number 2, Eagles, number 3, I have the Bills, number 4, I have the Detroit Lions, my home team, and then at number 5, I have the Dolphins. Yes. All right, so I did want to talk about the portfolio a little bit this week as well. And I wanted to bring up the fact that the S&P 500 is dropping. And since I was basically been tracking the S&P 500 since August 1st. So August 1st, and I did it every week. So the end of every week, so every Friday, since August, the first week of August, I've been tracking the S&P 500. Remember, that's what our benchmark is the S&P 500. That's what we aim to kind of beat. I'm not sure if benchmark is the appropriate word, so if that's incorrect, I apologize. But that's kind of like what we're comparing our own portfolio to. And right now, I've explained in the podcast, in my cash account, my oldest account, which I'm investing the whole year, I'm beating the market by 2%, the S&P 500, and in my accounts, where I just rolled my own Roth IRA from my previous employer. I'm managing it myself now. I'm closing the gap. It's coming in. It was apart, and now it's coming in together. I know there's specific terms and when what's coming in like that, but I didn't pay attention a lot during high school, to be quite honest with you. And I'm a college dropout. So, so like I said, I am not a financial expert, and a lot of this stuff I'm learning because I just bought a couple courses from Wall Street Trapper, so I'm going to learn from him. And I'm not saying he's an absolute expert as well, but he knows more information and he has more resources than I do. So I'm going to learn from the resources, information that he has, and I'm also going to go out and gather more information from other folks as well. So I'm not going to just bank on him and just hope and pray that whatever he tells me I'm going to buy and just things are going to go up, hopefully. That's not how I'm going to do. I'm going to do my own research, but I'm also going to learn from other folks that know more than me. And I'm also pull from EYL. I watch Mad Money, Kramer. I'm watching CNBC religiously. I'm buying books on a regular. I just bought a book on branding because I'm going to start working on getting this going. I'm going to buy, especially in the poker room. I'm going to buy a couple. I have a backpack in my on me every single time I go to the casino. So I think now people are accustomed to seeing a backpack on me. I'm not doing that for no reason. So stay tuned for that, amongst a couple other things. But getting back to the S&P 500, the S&P 500, that first week in August was at 4,478. Okay. Next week, 4,464. So it went up. Then 43.69 went down. 44.05, 45.15, and that was in August. And then we moved into September. Remember, September was rocky. Remember that don't forget, we're tracking the S&P 500. Then first week in September was good, 44.57. Then 44.50. Now listen, 43.20, 42.88, and now we're in the first week of October. And I believe it's just at 4,200 right now. So S&P 500 is dropping. And remember what we talked about in the podcast, and I believe we talked about on All in Society and Friends as well. People are selling off. And it's fearful times. Fortunes are made at fearful times. So now's the time to dig in. Now these courses and things that I bought from Trap, I'm going to dig into this stuff tomorrow. I'm going to have to play some cards tomorrow as well. So I might be doing both at the same time. Or more than likely, I'll get up early, get some sleep tonight, dive into these courses. I'm going to check in at Trapping Tuesday. You should check in to Trapping Tuesday on YouTube as well. After you're done with this, we're about 40 minutes in so far. So I'll definitely be tuning in with him about an hour late. But he's long-winded, so I'm probably not missing too much by checking in an hour late with him. Make sure you watch Market Mondays as well, and we're going to find some companies on sale, but you also want to be careful because there's a lot going on right now that is not making me be too optimistic about the market going up. But just because the market's not going up overall doesn't mean the specific stocks and specific sectors can't go up. So we might be able to find some diamonds in the rough and ride those waves. Um, if I was a trader, there was a stock that I put on my watch list this morning. It was a health stock, and won't you know, the stock went up 12% in pre-market trading today. There was I believe, a pension decided to invest in this company, and so they invested into it. And I'm not sure if this is how it works, and I need to talk to people about this because I can interpret this two ways. The stock went up a little bit, and this was reported, and then the stock ran up pre-market when this report was released, or someone bought in pre-market. They said this is what happened, and then there was some buying after the fact as well. So let's say the stock was like at 65 when I saw it last night, and I said, "Ooh," because I was looking at other companies. Because I remember our chap was saying this: you look for one company, and by searching for one company, you can find other companies that might be even better than the company you're originally looking for. And so I think now I'm be able to find what a value company is now, but in be able to determine whether it's a good buy or not. But I'm not. I do it on a very novice level by listening and going through Trap's courses. I think I'll be able to get that knowledge and information and really dive in and figure out how to extract the information that I need to in order to buy these companies and know exactly, yeah, this is a great time to buy this company and explain to you exactly why. And I want to be able to read these. I want to be able to see you on, if I see you in an elevator, I want to be able to break down in 2 minutes why this company is a great investment and not hesitate and tell you and be like, well, my friend said it's a great buy, or this guy I saw on TV is a great buy. No, this company, Roblox, is great because A, B, C, and D. I bought at this price, and I think it's 100% going to get to this price at this approximate time as long as A, B, and C, D happens. That's what I want to be able to split out. And not right now, it's just novice information. I'm just going off kind of like basic numbers and not really diving into the company itself and really figuring out what makes the company tick, who's managing the company, how long the company's been around, and what's the sentiment, whether people are behind the company, whether it's got growth, it's just kind of a value company, it's a company you just buy for its dividends and things like that. So I'm really want to dive in and get into this because, like I told you, I don't plan on working for anybody else for the rest of my life. I have no ambition. Now, I take that back. I will work for somebody if I could think that I can learn and grow from them. So if I want to get into the real estate game and I've read all the books and I feel like I've plateaued and I have a mentor or somebody and says, hey, come work for me a little bit. And then I can get paid and I can learn. Now I love that. And I'm also, to be quite honest with you, my dad's going to love this, is really considering going back to business school, and I can really figure out how to do this stuff myself rather than trying to find a partner, CEO who knows more than me. I think now is a great time to do it. It's always been a great time to go back to school. So as much as you've been telling me this, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do at the time. So I didn't want to just go back to school just to go back to school, just to get a piece of paper. But now I have a understanding and a great idea of what I would do and what I want to accomplish. I'm a little late in the game, but um, it feels good to kind of get to that point in life. But now is a great time to invest in the market. And I'm definitely 100% about to go over a disclaimer with you guys. So the information provided in this show about personal finance and investing is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Viewers are encouraged to consult with a qualified financial advisor, which is not myself, before making any investment decisions. The content presented may not be accurate, complete, or timely, and we do not assume responsibility for any errors or omissions. Investing involves risk, and past performance is not indicative of future results, as much as we wish it was. Any endorsements or advertisements featured do not constitute recommendations, and by participating in the show, you acknowledge and accept these disclaimers. Excuse me. So thank you for listening to that, getting through that. And with that being said, y'all, I don't have much other to say. I want you to tap into Wall Street Trapper. Trapping Tuesdays, go on YouTube. Make sure you watch Market Mondays. Make sure you download both their podcasts. They're huge inspirations for me. I'll probably piggyback a lot of their stuff. Last episode, in your leisure, was talking about copying, and they mentioned the word poker. So I feel like y'all talking about me, but I don't give a crap. Keep talking. At least if you're talking about me, that's awesome because it means you're watching me. If they're watching me, that means I'm onto something and I'm doing something. Because they wouldn't be watching me if I ain't doing nothing. So stay tuned, y'all. I got some more interviews coming up soon. We just got to schedule things out. I like to do this live, but some of the stuff I might have to just do pre-taped and just kind of post it in there for you guys every once in a while. But I want to do this. I want it to be more engaging. I miss my cousin Rita. My bad. I'm saying, hey, but it's better now than later. Um, so yeah, I'll have some family, some friends on. Maybe I'll get my mother and my father on. Like I said, I'll be in Bahamas in December, and I'll be in Mississippi in December also, and in November to spend time for the holidays with my family. So we'll get some holiday editions going. That'll probably be some of the best episodes that I'll have. But going forward, I'll try to have more people on so it's more interactive, and we'll get a little bit more viewership. For now, we only got people just popping in every once in a while. But I'm trying to put y'all on game and entertain at the same time. So stay tuned. NBA season is right around the corner. I watched a little bit of NBA Media Day. Kind of the silly stuff that I saw was Jimmy Butler and his email thing. I don't know if y'all saw that, but just Google Jimmy Butler email, and you see what he did on for Media Day. Dude's a fool. So it's a good. If you need a good laugh, make sure you tune into that. LeBron said that excuse me, AD Anthony Davis is the face of the franchise. Now he signed a new deal, but LeBron, AD is not the face of the franchise. Stop. He probably won't even stay there the whole time, especially after he leaves. AD don't want all that spotlight. He don't want them problems. At least that's my take. That's just my take. Also, you heard a little bit about Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo talking about playing with one another and what that looks like. I think Dame kind of mentioned him and Giannis in a pick and roll is kind of unguardable, 100%. He didn't elaborate on, I guess, how much scoring would be easier for him. So kind of good because I might want to go YOLO on him winning the MVP. I think it's a very underrated bet. It's definitely not the most profitable or likely bet to come to fruition, but I think it's a good bet. He'll be able to score a lot of points the way I see them running their offense, but I could be wrong. Maybe they don't run the offense the way that I see that they should. I saw on social media Luka and KD. Man, I want to keep talk about KD, but their team is also strong as well. But Luka and Kyrie look like they're gelling and and playing well together. Luka was putting on one of his practice squad defenders on skates, showing off the dribbles on social media. So make sure you tune into that. I think it was probably on Dallas Mavericks page or maybe even Luka's social media. I'm not sure what I follow there. So make sure you check into that. I love the NBA. I think NBA is the greatest league, um, even more so than NFL. The fact that you can kind of, I feel like I know them a little bit more. You see them on TV a lot more. They are more available. Obviously, there's more media coverage with them. They don't have helmets on, so if I saw them down the streets, I would know a lot more. I would know a lot of these players more so football players. So it just, I don't know. I just love the NBA. I really plan on traveling and to some Washington Wizards games. Not so much home games, but probably away games because those will definitely be games where people. Hopefully, with this new rule, they won't be resting a lot of players. So I want to travel and see some new stadiums that I haven't been to. And I think it'll be some cheap tickets to travel and see them play on the road. And I think it'll just be fun. There's not a lot of huge aspirations for this team this year, but I think it'll be fun to see Kuzma and Jordan Poole play together. I think there's going to be a lot of turnovers. There's going to be a lot of sloppy play. I don't have any hair to pull out. But if I was the coach, I would definitely be pulling out my hair, probably coaching these two. They're going to be. I don't think there's going to be a lot of defense playing on this team, but I could be wrong. Hopefully they prove me wrong. Hopefully they have some strong competitive spirit. I still think they're very undersized team. Gafford's already banged up to start the season, and there was someone else that was also hurt as well. I can't remember. It wasn't Kuzma or Poole, I don't believe. So nobody like major, but the fact that Gafford was already banged up was kind of nerve wracking. Oh, I think it was maybe even Tyus Jones. He might be hurt as well. And if that's the case, if Poole is running point to start the season, oh Lord, here we go. But I will definitely be a blast to cover them. So stay tuned for that coverage as well, the NBA, NFL, and my portfolio, the stock market. And then we'll bring some other folks on as well to highlight if they have businesses or just highlight if they're just amazing people. I want to highlight and tell stories. Hopefully the story that I started off with was entertaining, was a little funny. Like I said, I don't understand why anybody would be a bandwagon Lions fan. Go Lions. I've been 35 years old, and this is the first year that I've really ever been proud outside of the times when I was real young and Barry Sanders was on the team, and I enjoyed watching him scoot and skate through the defense. Calvin Johnson, Stafford teams were also fun to watch. Wow, do you remember Charlie Batch? I don't know why that name just came to me, but do you remember Charlie Batch? Herman Moore. Wow. A lot of these players that in the Lions past, Lions history are just coming to mind all of a sudden. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you watched all the way through, I truly appreciate it. That's awesome. I appreciate your support. Make sure you subscribe to the page. Make sure you follow my podcast, All in Society. Go search it right now. Make sure you check in to Trapping Tuesdays on YouTube, and make sure you check in on Market Mondays on YouTube as well. Y'all have a wonderful Tuesday evening. I'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great night.